Editing, well, I'll have you know something.
It's a pain in the ass, man. It takes forever. But
yeah. Well, how many videos do you put up on average?
not nearly as much as you. I'll put up, when I'm on a roll, I'll put up one a day.
Oh, okay.
But when I'm not on a roll, one every 3 days.
Okay, that's
I'd
pretty
like
good.
to do a lot more, but editing takes a while.
How long does the editing take?
You know, like you'll do a video where you'll talk 20 to 40 minutes, say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do the same thing, but I'll edit it down to like 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and that can take 6 hours sometimes.
And you just get like the best, most profound stuff you said?
Yeah, you know, like you say something, and as you're saying it, you say, you know, I could say that better. Or you find a new metaphor, a new way to describe it, and I'll just go back and record it again, and record it again. Or, you know, it's like, man, there's something missing there. I know what I want to say, but the words aren't coming out. So I keep recording it until I get it. And then I go back, and it's tough watching yourself, you know, and going through the takes.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then by the end of the shooting, I've got it, and then I edit it down to what I thought was the best stuff. And
I'm definitely destined to do YouTube. I've never edited. I mean, Sophia, well, Krista did a couple in the beginning. Sophia's done a couple. If it was like, that was great, but that one little thing or whatever. But, you know, 99.9% of the time I don't edit anything. And that's, you know, may or may not be the best thing.
Nobody cares. I mean, your audience is not running away because you don't edit.
No. Well, some of them do. I mean, I'm pretty, you know, if I had a smaller niche, but as we, you know, if it was just raw foods and I kept it at that, everyone would feel safe. But I've got a lot of other things in my life.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff, the real stuff that, and so my subscribers, you know, I'll gain 3,000 and lose 2,000 in a day. Or, you know, I think I gain about 100 a day on average, but it'll go through just fluctuations of, oh, God, click, I'm out of here, you know. Yeah. And so, you know, it's I don't really have a small little niche.
Well, you know, what I've learned is, you've probably seen the same thing. You kind of choose your audience, because I'll put up a video and, man, the subscribers run. But I get a whole bunch of new people who want that kind of content. So I'm losing the people that aren't interested in my new content, but I'm gaining the people that really appreciate it. So like it keeps changing, you know, it's a flow.
Yeah, I'm interested in, and that's why one thing I've noticed about my audience is they are very, very loyal.
Yeah.
They pull through for me. That's why I like things like the Best of Raw. People have bigger audiences. They say, hey, vote for me. But we have a deeper connection. So when I say, hey, if you want to vote for me at the Best of Raw or whatever, it's just like the dude came to me and he said, Dan, you won everything. Even the things you weren't nominated in, you know? And so I'm like, and I know that's a reflection of the closeness that I have with my audience, seeing me go up and down, leave the mistakes in there, like, oh, I just said something kind of stupid. And, you know, like the other day I said, you know, electrons break down into molecules. What I meant to say is electrons condense into atoms, which condense into molecules, which condense into cells. But since I don't edit and I don't really give a crap, it's like, get the essence of it. I mean, everything is step down energy. And so, but the science people show us the science, you know. Like,
well, you know, I do the same thing sometimes. It comes out backwards. And I do edit for that reason. But, you know, in the end, it doesn't matter. As long as you got the point, you got the essence of what you're saying. If you love the details, you know, it's not easy to be on camera. I mean, it gets easier, but at the same time...
Pretty easy for me since the beginning. Okay. Cool. I really want to get Alicia. She's awesome.
Busted her butt. She's one of the few people that deserves to be in a golf cart here.
Yeah. Yeah, where's my golf cart? I love walking up and down the hill, and you know.
So we haven't introduced each other here for everyone.
And by the way, everything is.
Yeah.
That's just going up.
It's good. Exactly.
This is TiVo. DTM, isn't that close? I already knew the title of our video. DTM, TiVo, TVO together again.
That's right. All we need is 3 letters. That's it.
We went viral that first year. People were like, "You two are real men," and we are. I know that about you, Tim. A real man, you know, soft and firm, you know, flexible and committed, you know.
Well, that's, Dan, one of the things I really appreciate about what you do. You show vulnerability. And that's something I'm committed to as well, and it's rare. Especially in the health movement, because you get a lot of people who sell certainty.
Yeah.
They're perfect, and their diet is perfect, and everything is perfect, and their book is perfect. And it's like, come on, that's not real. Nobody is perfect. We're all on a journey. We're all on a path. We're all wounded. We're all vulnerable. And if you really want to connect with people, and you really want to make a difference in your life, you have to show that. You can't pretend like, oh, I'm hard, and I'm tough, and I'm perfect, and nothing bothers me, and then you're not connecting.
Yeah.
You got to be permeable. You got to let people in. You got to open up the door and let them in and show them what you got in there.
Yeah, and that's why I think you get that stronger foundation. You can use all the tricks on YouTube and all the little, snappy little one-clip, 3-second flash display, hypnotizing, fancy stuff, but they'll be just like, oh, they won't be that when the shiznit hits the fizzan, they ain't there. But my people, like, I've noticed this over the years, I need a place to stay. 14 people. Dan, you can stay in my, cabin and here, or my guest house, or my castle, and whatever. So this is like, and I'm just some crazy ass dude online, but they know me so well, and people treat me like I'm their friend. I mean, I go, hey, I don't know you from Adam, but but I do though, because I know you because if you're crazy enough to watch me, and listen to this and not be so detail oriented, you're getting the essence. And if you're getting the essence of where I'm coming from, you'll know the details, like the juicing, that's an art. The raw foods, that's an art. There's definitely science to raw foods, no doubt. I mean, the cleaner you eat, the clearer you feel. Simple, but sometimes you need other things, and you got to ride this ride. So there is no certainty.
No, there is no certainty. And see, that's the beautiful thing. The journey of life is becoming comfortable with uncertainty, becoming comfortable with your wounds and your challenges, embracing them, loving them, seeing them as the opportunity that they are. And we can't predict what the future is going to be, but that scares people to death. But that's actually the magic of the future, is that we don't know what it's going to look like, so therefore anything can happen. Anything's possible.
What I wrote last night on the Facebook is, and I know this, the more true and divine knowledge that you have of what you are, the less certainty you need.
You don't need it.
You are certain.
Yeah.
I am the eternal light, showing up as a human being, and then whatever happens with this human thing is an interesting, like, wow, what's going to happen with the relationship? What's going to happen with the finances? What's going to happen with this career? What am I going to say next? You don't even know. Is the body going to hold up? Is it going to fall apart? And then you can be like, here's this certainty. Like, you can have probabilities. Like, if you water fast for 10 days, then you'll eliminate some pain and stiffness.
Yep.
There's some probabilities. If you eat a clean raw food diet, then you'll feel better, instead of eating like meat and overeating every day and fermenting. And there's probabilities, but we know that there's no certainty. That's a really good thing to bring up.
Well, I play with metaphor. That's what I do. I see the world as pictures and images. And one of the concepts that I'm really fond of is mind like water, which is an Eastern philosophy. See, in America or Western culture, people going for certainty, they become solid objects. They have solid belief systems. They're like rocks walking around. And you can't touch them, you can't penetrate them, you can't affect them, but you can break them. See, if you're certain and you're solid, you can be broken. You can be shattered. But if you have a mind like water, and an object comes at you and breaks your surface, yeah, it's going to cause a disturbance. It's going to cause some ripples. You're going to feel something. But then you go back to calm. And then that pebble or that rock or whatever it is that hits you, it now becomes a part of you, and it informs you. It's part of who you are. It's part of your story.
It will be leaving at 9 a.m. sharp because we have people that need to catch trains and make airline connections.
I just want to make sure you get this.
If you have a ticket
if you're going to be late for your bus, there it is.
Please make
Bus.
your
I love the way
way
she says bus.
down to the office where the bus is waiting. This bus will leave at 9 a.m. sharp because we have passengers who need to get connections. Thank you.
That is the voice of Ann Osborne. who has busted her butt the entire year to put this festival on. Extraordinary woman. So happy to know her, all the work that she puts in. And behind the camera right now is Alicia, who does all the food here.
Who
for
really
Fruit Fest.
does the butt busting.
Come over here and say hello.
Yeah, you got to get in on this one.
Oh, seriously? Hello.
Oh, Alicia, how do you do it?
Oh my God, it's been a long week, or 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
Have you slept more than 10 hours these past 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
Total?
Yeah, no, I have. I've gotten some good sleep on some nights, but not so much on other nights. So, but it's been great. It's been a great event, and I think we had incredible improvement over the past years. It just keeps getting better and better, and I think it'll keep getting better and better.
I think it was freaking amazing this year.
Yeah.
I had a
Totally
great time.
Yeah.
A blast.
And lots of extra treats that we haven't had before, you know, ice cream and
Yeah. Banana ice cream, cinnamon rolls.
cinnamon rolls. Yeah.
How do you make raw cinnamon rolls? You know, do you have a recipe somewhere
I don't have it out there, but I'm going to be making a video about it, and
cool.
it's super simple.
What's your YouTube?
My YouTube is Raw Chef Alicia. And
You've got to go there.
Yeah.
Check it out.
The
Great.
work
She
that
makes
you're
some great
doing
stuff.
is amazing. Like taking the clean stuff and making it, the low-fat, raw vegan stuff, and making it delicious and
yeah,
fun.
and it's totally doable, and it's not hard. You know, anyone can do it. Just it's
hard when you do it for 600
for 600 people over 10 days. Absolutely. So
It's been like more than that, hasn't it?
it
Like
has.
14
It's
days
14
of
days.
700 people
Yeah.
scarfing on lettuce and dressings, and
All kinds of
Cinnamon
stuff.
rolls
Noodles and oodles of noodles.
I love the noodles.
Yeah.
How many pounds of zucchini did we go through here?
I am guessing we went through almost like probably 3,000 pounds, maybe. I mean, that might be a little high. It might be
Might be
2,000.
2,800.
Yeah. But lots of zucchini, lots of lettuce. Oh,
There
Uh-oh.
you go. You go back to work.
all right.
Back to the
Do you want to
kitchen.
do another one with
Yeah.
me? Well, Tim and I will finish up. They're waiting
Hey,
for
Richard,
us.
I'm coming. Okay.
I'm going to come find you and do a quickie, okay? That was perfect.
That was great.
I love these.
Amazing women here helping out at the festival.
Yulia, Mike, Alicia, Ann.
Yep.
Those are the people that, I just show up and, do my thing. And this year for me was working on connecting more deeply with people. I'm still working on that. It's like, but I didn't realize here what I love and what I'm good at, and that's just me making videos at home. Because I'm telling you, you stay home, you stay out of traffic, save your money from the motel rooms. Just go for a walk in your neighbor's house, come home, take a nap. I mean, chill out. You know what I mean? And that's why, I want to live like that. Like, hi, it's Dan McDonald. I don't get out much anymore because I don't want to. I'll come to Woodstock once a year, maybe do something else, but I get a million offers to go everywhere, and I just like to stay home, and I like to connect via video just because that's the way I'm set up, and I've really deeply accepted that here. I feel like I should work on my career and go to the UK because they want me in Australia, and all these people want me to come, and money.
That takes away from your strength. It takes away from your... See, when you're home is where the heart is.
Oh.
And you're focused, and that's where you build up all your energy. That's where you're doing your most powerful work. If you're traveling all over the place, you're scattered. You lose that energy. You lose your focus.
Wow.
You lose that connection.
I've been traveling, bro, since I was 16 years old. I've settled down. When I met Sophia, I settled down in Vallejo for a year. And we've been traveling ever since her dad got sick, and then we went back over there and lived in a tent and motels, and so now it's like I'm looking for something real solid, piece of land, old fruit orchard. But home is where you get your flow.
Yeah.
You got
Where
your
you
juicer, and you know where the lemon ginger blast stuff is, and you go get it and you come back. So
how's that been for you here? Like, I'm off my game here because this is not, very similar to what they're eating here, but different times of day, different types of vegetables, different types of fruits.
yeah.
So it's challenging for me to stay on my game. How are you doing?
My game, it was pretty good the first week, but what happened around here was that the food began to lose its freshness.
Yeah.
The watermelons came in though, so I basically would live off orange juice all day and then have a small salad or a fruit meal at night. That's pretty much how I lived. So I was on my game, and the only thing that took me off was the vitality of the food. I go to the market and I get like lettuce that looks fake because it's so damn fresh. It's like, oh, this green thing that was picked that morning. And in the Bay Area, and I'll go to the farmers markets and just I'll drink my orange juice, lemon ginger blast, cucumber juice. Those are my three main things, just because I just stay hydrated and electrified and get all my work done and don't fill my stomach with any food. And my mind is sharp, clear, I'm focused. And then I have my little meal at night, which is kind of like, oh, you did a good job today, bro. You saturate yourself, nourish yourself. And I don't think you need to eat that much. My fitness is moderate, you know, and I'm not going to beat the body up anymore. I don't believe in that. So my game was okay, except that, you know, I had to go in the kitchen and like, you know, which they totally welcome me in the kitchen. I think the pioneers are looked at as, without the pioneers, this wouldn't really happen. We're the one that brings the people and then everyone that does all the work. But I really go with the radar into the store and the papayas that day, you know, they must have, or the figs are just, and that's what you have. You make a fig dressing or something. It's the vitality in the food. That's why I like the essence-oriented consciousness of my videos, or the essence-oriented, the essence of the vitality of the food.
So, what is the essence? Okay, you're making videos, you're talking about all kinds of stuff. What is the essence? How do you sum it up?
The essence is the electricity. That's the only way I can say it in terms of like linear. Now, it does have a million different names, you know, and
Manifestations.
That's just the name that you can call that which everything steps down into to formulate itself into more denser levels of energy. But just say, for example, the greatest example so you can wrap your mind around the essence is that when the orange is hanging on the tree and it's just about to fall off because it's so ripe and it's so done, you shake the tree and it falls, but when it's still connected and the roots are connected and the leaves are absorbing the radiation from the sun, and it's absorbing the energy of the earth through the roots and the trunk and the branches, and the water is being affected by the sunlight and it's being affected by the electromagnetic energy, and the minerals are just dancing because the life circuit is there. But the circuit's there, right? And then the second you pluck the orange, no longer is it within that completed circuit. It's still vital. Yeah. But day 1, day 2, 6 days later, 5 weeks later, the orange is not, it doesn't have as much of the essence that it had when it, you know. And so the essence is the animator. The body is still there after a human being dies, but it's not breathing.
It's no longer animated.
It's the animating principle. It's you know, you get to that level, it's the non-linear dynamics of life. There's no explanation, and everybody has a different way, and you just have to be the type of person that goes, I get where this guy's coming from, you know? And I understand, I don't totally agree with all the terminology, but that's where you go wrong, is if you get lost in the semantics. Get the essence. Hey, here's this crazy guy who just somehow happened on a YouTube thing and kept going. And now he's like, well, I don't know what the hell's going on. If anyone else does, tell me. But I'm just going to keep going because that's what people tell me to do. And people seem to be having, you know, good experiences through these videos. So, I mean, do you really know what's going on?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh, absolutely.
With everything?
Oh, yeah. We're here to enjoy it. That's what's going on.
Okay, well
We're here to celebrate it. We're here to abundantly appreciate it, and that's what's going on. You know, I met a 19-year-old girl here at the festival who was telling me about where she's going to go in her future. And smart girl. And she's a triple major in college right now. So she's doing biochemistry and 2 other, I think might be medical science and something else, but hardcore stuff. And she was just rattling it off, just the certainty and the knowledge and throwing out the words and the terminology. And I get it because I study science. So, I can have that conversation, but there was no connection. Like the words make sense intellectually to her and to many people that study them, but there's no connection there.
At the heart, you mean?
Here. It stops here. It never goes down. So they understand biochemistry, but so what?
Right.
Look at how many PhDs in biochemistry are struggling with their bodies and struggling with their minds and struggling with their diets. And smartest people in the world, the vast majority of them are struggling. They're challenged. So just because someone has the knowledge of a particular field does not mean that the struggle goes away. It does not mean that they suddenly have the answers. The answer is to surrender. The answer is to embrace it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's great to understand it.
But
that's the booby prize.
9 a.m. Albany bus.
But how deeply can you really understand it in an ever-changing?
Well, you can't.
The rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
So you're saying, like, without the love,
the words mean nothing. The concepts mean nothing.
Yeah.
If they're not animated, it's just like what we said.
Thank you.
The body is there, but if the body is not animated, it's dead.
Yeah.
So you can have the concepts, you can have the knowledge, you can understand the terminology. But if it's not animated, if there's no love in it, if there's no heart in it, if there's no essence in it, so what?
yeah,
So what if you're the smartest person in the world in this one specialized scientific field? So what? If
Without
you're
love, it will
without
not
love,
last.
There's nothing there. What are you doing? What's the point?
So again, I think that may be why you and I have been able to connect at such a deeper level than almost anybody else. Just referencing like that first video we did 4 years ago. I don't know if we ever got any since then, but that one went kind of viral.
Yeah.
And they just loved it. And that's because, I mean, do I want to argue with people about the scientific percentages and all this crap? I mean,
Why?
I don't know, because I have some ideas. I'm a relatively intelligent guy. I'm no braino, but and there's much more room for the heart to open up too, but it's a good balance of both because, I approach it with the three-pronged approach: body, heart, mind. And then the spirit is the,
Tabletop. So you got the three legs and then the tabletop.
well, I think actually this, the spirit is the less of that can be an occlusion. If the heart is open and wide and the mind can actually can have understanding and experience and be quiet, and the body is in harmony with itself because of you don't need to eat so much all the time to be stimulated, then the spirit, that the essence can just radiate itself in a real pure way.
You gave me a great metaphor. See, my earlier talks, I talked about the three legs of health. You've got your diet, you've got your physical activity, and you've got your thoughts. Those are the three legs of that table. So I've been talking about the three legs, and most people here are talking about the three legs, or one leg, or maybe two legs.
Mm-hmm.
A few of them talk about the three. But really, what are those three legs supporting? That's what matters. They're supporting a table, and what do you do on that table? You eat, you dance, you play, you have conversations, you love, you connect. It's not about the legs holding up the table. The diet leg, yeah, it's important only to hold the table up. The exercise leg, only to hold the table up.
Interesting.
But it's what happens on that table that matters.
So if one of the legs was shorter, you were trying to eat your meal.
Off the table.
I have a metaphor for you. I look at it more of a wheel.
A wheel.
And with the spokes. And this is how I've been shoring up my relationships, which from the dysfunction of the family, it's like the wheel's rolling along. One spoke is 5 inches longer than the other 3 inches. So we're trying to get everything balanced. The hub is love, and then you balance your relationships, you balance your finances, you balance your physical activity and all the other area, your spirituality, and you balance all that out, and the wheel runs nice and smooth.
And if that hub is not strong, if that hub doesn't have enough density and energy to radiate out, those spokes are going to puncture it. When you start putting weight on that, those spokes are going right through that heart.
Or it's just going to fall off the carriage.
It's going to fall off.
It's going to fall off the wheel is going to.
It's going to lay on the side of the road.
Yeah, off your bike. It's just gonna. Like I've seen that before. I rode my bike. In fact, right when I started to get to the very first Woodstock, the gears started to
grind down.
Yeah, with metal shavings everywhere. So yeah, you got to keep the heart lubricated with the oil of love.
And that's where home is again.
Yeah, and I don't really have one yet except Sophia and Action Jackson, and so we go from motel to motel and stuff, and so now we're trying to get settled down. And
you're in Sedona?
Well, we moved out of Sedona.
Oh.
It's just there was a lot of things, a lot of reasons why. I haven't really ever brought it up. And then when Sophia's dad got sick, we were just like, let's just go help him.
Yeah.
And he's doing a lot better. And the raw foods works. I mean, raw foods. He did enzyme therapy and was just working the raw foods. And then they sold their house. So now our tent in the backyard, no more. So they moved into a loft, and so we've been floating around ever since. And so now we're just trying to find a home where I can get the juicer set up, and I need an island kitchen because I'm about to blast y'all with some recipes. Because like we were talking about earlier, 99.9% of the people are not low-fat raw vegans.
Yeah.
Like we're all here chilling, and I made a joke the other day. I said, we're going to go to Pure Food and Wine. Let's all meet up at Pure Food and Wine. And we say, just bring us some fat and salt. And everybody was laughing, and they were like, yep.
Well, I was looking on Facebook. A lot of the people that left the festival after week 1, they had a big meetup at Pure Food and Wine. And they're, the pictures of all the stuff they're eating. It's like, man, you were going to be so sick.
I'm not going to do that, but I'll probably get one of Sarma's salads and just say cucumber, tomato, avocado, no salt, no nothing, because I've got to the point where I don't feel deprived. Yeah. I like that feeling, and I'm going for something. I have a long-term vision.
Well, it also comes down to, what are you using food for? Is food the gas that you put in the car so you can take a drive and go experience something amazing? Or do you put the gas in the car and then just talk about the gas for the whole trip? It's what a lot of people are doing. It's like, let's keep talking about mangoes, let's talk about kiwis, let's talk about watermelons, talk about cinnamon buns. They were great, but that's just the gas in the car.
That's
Where
like
do you want to go?
Putting gas in the car to go back to the grocery store to go get more gas.
To get more gas. It's all about gas.
Well, I do understand the food trip and obsession with food, but it's finally beginning to really diminish quite rapidly. Now, I've got a system that I like, the juices, and I know what works for me, the juices, but I'm not as fanatical about it, and I can make certain things happen, or I can fast if it's not there, so it's nice to start getting over the food trip. But you do have to ask yourself, what are you hungry for?
Yeah, well, it's not what you eat, it's what is eating you that matters.
Mm-hmm. And for all of us, it's usually 1, 2, 3 things. I know people that are just struggling.
Yeah.
The mind won't leave them alone. They're worried. They got to hurry up and get their shit together now before life passes them by, and that causes more stress, and their whole life passes by. Yeah. But if you could just, as you get more mature, this. I mean, we're both at that phase where probably we're just like, okay, we've been through a lot of stuff, and now we're just like, you get to our age in life generally, and you're more like, okay, this is cool. I don't need to prove anything or, explain myself. You can just start chilling out and having more fun.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I intend. So I was sitting on a bench down there, high on orange juice for 3 days, and I just had this vision of, just this vision of it's all an illusion. Like everything is just coming out of my own head. And I just decided right then and there, I'm going to have way more fun with this, man. I've been taking this stuff way too seriously.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Who says that it has to be so serious? Who says that you have to get these, green pieces of paper with an old man's head on it, and you have to get the certain job, you have to get the car, you have to do this, and you have to be a slave to everything? Why? For what? Because the people that set up that system, they're slaves to it too. They're not happy either.
Well,
if they were happy, they wouldn't be doing it.
Or you could even just play the game and get the green paper.
But play it as a game.
That's it. Like,
That's
so
the
if you
key.
got
It's a
it
game.
and you lose it, you are not affected, the real you. And that's why I talk about the spiritual path, because as you get to know the real you, the food loses its trip, the money loses its trip, and you're more solid and at peace with yourself. Then, because we take that whole game so seriously, like, oh, I'm worried about, you just worry about so many things that are just, that you shouldn't worry about. It'll work itself out, and you know that.
And everything you've been through, you made it through. Regardless of how hard it was, you made it through.
You're going to make it through until the day you don't, and then
it won't matter.
you're going to be free.
And you're free and it doesn't matter.
And then nobody have a funeral and wear your black clothes for me. Y'all have a party. Because I'm free. What's up? DTM, he's free now. But I mean, ultimately the goal is to become free while you're here.
Yes.
And that is what we call the spiritual journey, And that's why I was talking about a more comfortable prison.
Yeah.
A more comfortable prison is not freedom.
Yeah, people decorate their jail cell.
Right.
They're in hell, and instead of getting out of hell, they just make hell look a little bit nicer.
That's right. Instead of actually going, that's why to do the work. I mean, a true spiritual person will see the depths of hell and the heights of heaven. And the monotone who just avoids that and avoids that, you need to go that far down in order to go that high up. And I mean, I know I've read a lot of spiritual books, and I know that some of the most enlightened sages went deep down into the depths of hopeless hell.
And embrace their suffering. And then they sit with it.
A lot of times there was just the surrender, like, oh, to hell with it. I don't care. It would come up and it would look like death. People will be like fasting or something and they think they're dying, or they'll be going through meditation, vipassana, and they think they're dying and stuff. And you are dying. The illusion is dying as the spirit comes forth, and your mind is such an amazing, your mind can kill you.
Yeah.
There was this guy in a rail car, and it was like the frozen car, and he's in there, and he got trapped in this frozen car. Well, he comes, and he just got stuck there, and he froze to death. Well, the people came the next day, opened the car, and the refrigeration wasn't even on. It was 60 degrees in there. His own mind killed him. So in our mind, and thought travels 1,000 times faster than light. So don't ever think that your thoughts don't matter. And that's why I'm trying to always work on the thoughts. What am I thinking? What am I saying? What am I thinking? And that's why we meditate, to observe that. And when we say, oh, you'll see it, I'm not worthy of money, or that girl's too pretty for me, I'll never be able to get her phone number. How do you know, dummy? Go out there and try it out.
So, what's a tip for someone that's stuck in thought? Someone is challenged, you get it, I get it, but most people don't. So what do you say to them? How do you break through? How do you get them to realize
the exercise is to observe the thought. Mm-hmm. And if you're observing the thought, then you know you're not the thinking. Yeah. Your brain is a mass of like neuron programs that were just, were you like a brand new born baby? I mean, you actually started getting programmed, your nervous system, from the second that the seed hit the egg, and then you come out into the world, and your first 3 years, you're just a little absorbent little floppy disk, and your parents are like, F you, honey, I wish we never would have got married, and you're like 3 years old, and oh, the kids don't hear that. All right. That little baby is getting programmed from seed to egg energetically. And so you see that if you have all those thoughts, you didn't say, well, program me with cheeseburgers and program me with depression and program me with not good enough. You just got it because 95% of human thought is negative. Yeah. And so if you just observe the thought, that's why meditation's so good, or contemplation. You just observe the thought and you step out of it. And so you're like observing the thought, and you say, well, wait a minute. If I was my brain, if I was my thoughts, I wouldn't be able to look at them. So then you start identifying with that which is observing. Yep. And you see more so that you're actually a point of awareness.
Yep.
And then that actually begins to develop the observation without response begins to be developed, and then life, for me at least, got a lot easier because I didn't have to respond to the programming.
Or to the emotion, because often the programming comes up and then it kicks off the emotional body, and then the thoughts start thinking about the emotion, and it becomes a vicious cycle. So you notice the thought, but you can also notice the emotional wave that's coming through you. And just like in the ocean, you can let that wave lift you up and then let the wave lift you down. You don't have to paddle. You don't have to ride that wave to shore and crash on the rocks. You can just watch it. Like, oh yeah, there's a wave. I feel it. Oh yeah. Okay, something just triggered me. All right, I'm triggered. All right, just watch it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, there it goes. Wave's gone. Yeah. Wow, that was interesting. All right, what is in my environment right now that triggered that? What thought triggered that?
So you can be mad as hell.
Yeah.
And punch someone in the face, or you can be mad as hell and just be like, "Wow,
yeah, I'm mad.
I'm
mad right now.
as hell."
What's that about?
And you could feel, because what you're labeling it as anger, the sensations. But that's another one of the great keys is like, if you don't label the sensations, you're like, "Oh, my hands are sweating, my heart is beating." You know, it's more, you're saying I'm angry. Well, you're just labeling it, but it's really like, "Oh, my heart is beating. My hands are sweaty. I feel like I want to like smack somebody." You can just observe all that, and you can just see it for what it is, and then you instead of calling it, we the same thing with diseases or emotions. We label them because those sensations that show up physiologically, we equate that to some type of specific emotion, then we label that emotion, and then there'd be like anger 1, anger 2, anger 3,
And they're all responses. Emotions are responses. Disease is a response. So you have to look, what is it? What am I responding to? What is it? What is in my environment that I'm responding to? What is in my physical environment, in my body, or in my mind, or in the world around me that I'm responding to? Or emotionally, am I responding to something that's happening? Dan sits next to me. I like Dan, so, okay, I feel good. Dan's here. Oh, wow, okay, I'm responding to Dan. Or somebody sits next to me and we got some issues. Okay, I got this thing, all right. Or maybe it's a thought, an old thought that's 30 years old, and I'm responding to something that's not even here in my present.
Yeah.
Not even there, and yet I'm responding to it.
That's probably more prevalent than, it's either the past or the future. You'll see that.
Yeah.
If you can just come right here, you can stop worrying so much and stop being so bent out of shape. Like the things that person did to you 5 years ago, they're not really here. You can hold on to that or not, or you can just let it go,
Yeah, you swallow poison and expect them to die.
Right.
That's what anger is. That's when you're holding on to a grudge. You're drinking the poison because it's poisoning you the whole time, and you're waiting for them to drop dead.
It's easier than it sounds, but you'll see it. You'll notice, like, people that tell lies about you or whatever. In my specific case, like on the YouTube, people will just lie through their teeth. And I'm like, and it makes you angry because you want to, bitch slap them to next week. One part of you, but then you see, one day
Keep talking.
You'll notice that, that's actually eating you up inside.
Yeah.
So you're forgiving them for yourself, to get rid of the toxins. I mean, you think, oh, you're all spiritual and stuff, but when people persistently and constantly are telling lies and you're seeing your business being affected, as much as you relate with the physical body, your career, all the work that you've done, and you see that as a threat. And so you have to really always be constantly in a state of rising up and going beyond, and just knowing that if you stay true to the laws, if you continue to come back and operate out of love and honesty, and of course we're all capable of talking smack about another person, but if we can consciously say, that's not right. It's not right. And so, you might have the proclivity as a conditioning to do that, but you also have the conscious awareness that that's just not right. It's not going to help. Let's go back to love and speaking more on the side of positive and not putting people down, and then releasing the resentments and harboring that malice.
And it's not your best work. Like if we, I get the haters, you get the haters, you and I get a lot of the same haters, right? Because we're both vulnerable men, and that scares the crap out of people.
Yeah.
So if we focus on that negativity, if we focus on the comments, if we're trying to fight back, we're not doing our best work. And the people that need us or, rely on us, I don't even know how to say it, but the people that watch us and get something out of what we do, if we're focused on the negativity that somebody else is throwing at us, we can't serve. We diminish ourselves, and then our effect on people is diminished. And that goes for everybody. It's not just you and I on YouTube.
I'm still in that, bro. I mean, I've gotten a lot better, but I know that one day I will blossom into a master of, I know why I'm here. And I'm stronger with this than ever before, but it's like, and the Woodstock Fruit Festival helps me because the people come up. Not only was I a huge draw this year, much more than last year, but I also just had tons and tons of people come up to me and tell me, this is what I get out of your videos. Yeah. I forgave people that hurt me. I, got rid of cancer. I watch your videos while I'm, cleaning my bathrooms and stuff, just because your energy is so soothing. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, you really do want to focus on the difference that you're making in the people's lives who can resonate with you. And those that can't, they're just stupid. No, I'm just kidding. But no, there's different levels of consciousness, and you can't get trapped with the people that are comfortable where they are in those energy fields that actually focus on negativity.
Well, the tactic that I've taken, because you don't want to do nothing, right? When there's negativity coming at you, it's not just coming at you, but it's coming at other people in their lives too. And anybody that watches those attack videos or reads those attack comments, they're experiencing that negative energy as well. Yeah. It's not just us. So what I've done is like, all right, this is coming in, and how can I be compassionate with the attacker? Not just for my own benefit, so I'm not holding on to this, feeling of being attacked, anger or hurt, whatever it is, but also so that I can leave a public example of how to be compassionate with someone that is attacking you. So, and it's all about questions.
Hey, John.
John Kohler.
The one and only.
Isn't it great to have like so many YouTube people all in one spot? I just love it. So, you ask questions, because anybody that's coming at you with negativity is hurting. They've got a pain, they've got a wound that they don't know how to deal with, and they're projecting it onto everybody else. And like, you're the reason that I'm suffering. It's you. It's not me. It's nothing I did. It's not something I can't deal with, Dan. It's you. You caused this pain in me. And so, I want to help them too, even if they're attacking me. So I reach out compassionately for others to see publicly. And it's just like, what is it about my work? Oh, there's a bug in my eye. What is it about my work that bothers you so much? And that's going to bug me. See, okay, there's a bug in my eye. What is about this bug in my eye that bothers me right now?
Well, you get to edit yours out, but they're going to know on my video, bro.
There's a bug that just flew into my eye and is like crawling around in my eyeball. It's all good. There it goes. Bye-bye.
Oh, wow.
Popped right out. And it's still alive, so I didn't even kill it. Compassionate.
Wow, dude, you are a true vegan.
Yeah, well, and that's it, right? So the bug flies in your eye, you get attacked, and now you could squish your eye and hurt your own eyeball and be all pissed off for the rest of the day. We blew the video. It sucks. I can't even
stab yourself with a knife to get the bug.
So, or gently just try to work it around so that it pops out on its own and can go off and do its own thing. So, why, bug? Why did you want to fly in my eye? Don't you know that if you do that, you're going to get hurt, or I might get hurt? Like, who are you trying to benefit? What is the benefit of this attack? Do you benefit from attacking me? Do I benefit? Do anybody in the audience benefit? Like, what's going on? What do you need right now that you're not getting? Is there any way that I can help? So that allows me to still do my best work. It allows me to still be a compassionate, loving man, even when I'm being attacked, because I know they're attacking me because they have pain. And if I can be gentle with that and say, hey, it's okay. It's okay.
I went the route of ignoring for a while, so I just didn't know. I didn't even want to address the stupidity of it. So I just didn't know. I mean, maybe if I thought about that a little bit, But I mean, a negativity wears itself out, where love, it's just the Dan and his channel and his message continues to grow and evolve. I mean, that's one thing that people say to me consistently: dude, your evolution is epic. And I'm like, well, that's what I got here for. And sometimes people, they don't evolve at all in the negativity, because you spend so much time projecting that if you want to do something, go inward.
Yeah.
And if you want to heal the world, heal yourself. If you want to fix the world, fix yourself, you know? Because that's the one place. And then it's a healing of the mind, like in Course in Miracles, you know? When you heal your own mind, then the world heals itself, because you'll see that the world is only the way it is because that's the way you see it. This world is terrible, starving babies and stuff, and that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
There's levels and levels and levels to where you can see this perfectly unfolding, blossoming of karma and infinite potential. You know, like the human beings. I was reading last night, the human beings, they're either going to get it or they're not going to get it, and we're going to blow ourselves up again. We've destroyed ourselves many times, and we are not at the highest level that we could be, bro. We are not as advanced as we could be.
Well,
there is
technology advances, but we don't.
We are in a dormant state. There is a lot of dormant chromosomes and DNA that are just not activated right now, and we really. If you want to know, if anybody's curious, that is where I'm going. How well I'll do, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. What matters is that I'm inspired. I set out 14 years ago to start on this journey of raw foods and fasting, and it led into the spirituality and meditation and yoga and loosening up and letting go and being like water. Because there's one thing I've noticed, bro.
Resilient.
There is a lot of hardness within the Dan. There's this like Natea running around here connecting with everybody, and then here's old crusty old Dan, stiff, just having a hard time. Not a hard time, but I just notice that I've been really wanting to learn how to just connect. Like, it's easier with you, and it's easier with certain people for me. And maybe it's an illusion in my head that I need to connect with people, but I want to honor them. I don't want to just be the guy on the video, and then when you show up at Woodstock, I'm like, because I'm never going to be like that. It's just, how do I really open up and be there with somebody, including my girlfriend, my cat, and my kids. Mostly those people, actually my kids and Sophia, really being present. And that's where I'm working on, and that's the hardness that, you know, because I did do a lot of drugs and I did overeat and I was a bodybuilder, and I think below that is actually just the conditioning of, like, my dad, who has got a certain stiffness about him, and my mom. They're both actually stiff and calcified and still doing, you know, I don't want to say too much, but the painkillers and things like that but I don't want to do that. That's why, for me, the painkillers is watermelon and cucumber juice, washing that stiffness out. And I know that people are going to freak out if I go down to the skinnies, but I need to get rid of the hardness. And that's just my way of seeing it. You fast, and the hardness the deep embedded hardness can be washed away. The sediment of the old. I see fasting as a rebirth. And I've done more than most people, but there's a depth to it and an activation. Lou Corona is an example. You've seen him?
Lou was one of the people that got me to go raw 10 years ago.
Lou is not your average dude, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
I mean, he is I've sat up till 4 a.m, Lou, and the stories, man, and the things he's done. Most people, who's going to do 2 40-day water fasts in a row?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody. And all the other things. And his ability to forgive instantaneously when somebody robs him of everything. 2 cars, a house. He was at the top of the game. And this dude just wiped him out. And now he's in a $200 Datsun eating soaked nuts and seeds out of a jar. And he just looked out the window and he just says, God, you know, me, I still got what's important, but this man over here, please forgive him, help him to see. So, because Lou felt bad for him. He wiped Lou out, and Lou felt bad for him. That's the kind of love that I aspire to be. Lou's heart is so big, and he's so much more than raw foods. I think raw foods is his career, raw foods, enzymes, cultured foods, but behind the scenes, he literally, like Sophie and I, we were just, the communication, he's like looking at me, and you're falling short, Dan. You just...
Oh, wow.
Well, just in the sense of you don't know how to communicate, and I'm going to teach you. And I'm like, okay. Like whenever Lou wants to teach me something, I learn. And we got together, and Sophia and I, at 4 in the morning, good, bad, and the ugly. Well, we got to the good, and Sophia started crying, because if you actually start looking at all the good in your relationships and your life, you'll start crying, because you'll be like, holy crap. You take that little bit of stuff, like we're not connecting as deeply as we'd like, which is important, but then you have all this fun, and you eat together, and you play together, and you pray together, and you go to the hot springs together, and you take baths together, and you read together, and you Om together, and you do all these great things, and you live together, and you inspire one another to be better people, and then that's all the good, and then you get to the bad and the ugly, and it's like a couple little small things, and then you realize you've been looking at that, you know.
Yeah, if you really do a balance sheet, you'll have 500 good things and 2 bad things, but you don't repeat the good things in your head. You repeat the bad things 500 times. So it's like 2 bad instances, 500 good ones, but which ones am I going to think about? Let's keep thinking about the bad ones until they now outnumber the good ones, even though the good ones in actuality outnumber the bad ones.
And the good is so much more powerful as the essence, which we talked about, the radiance of a positive energy field. One thought of true unconditional love transforms, you know, a lifetime of negativity. So like, you were on Cooked Foods, you met Lou, that love for raw foods, that love and that excitement, it's just like shifted your whole life. And we can do that over and over again. And so that's the thing, like I said, but 95% of our thinking in the world is so negative, the doom and gloom, and all I know is that I keep reading these books, and I keep thinking these thoughts, I keep coming back to what I call the divine principle, and I just focus on that essence of light, and knowing that that's the deep core, and that Dan is just compressed divinity, you know. And then there's the duality of, you know, we fought, now we made love, you know. I mean, I'm depressed, now I'm joyful, you know. And that's part of the, if without the duality, this thing wouldn't be able to compress itself down.
That's what the breath is. That's what making love is. You enter and you release, and it's a dance, it's a pump, it's an in and out, it's an up and a down, it's a day
right
and
on,
a night.
Timo.
That's what it is. Everything is a breath, but people hold their breath. That's what they do. They hold the breath. And what is forgiving? Forgiving is about you inhale that breath, you take it in, you take in the spirit, whatever you want to call it, but then you're like, no, I don't want to let it go. I don't want to let it go. Well, you've got to forgive. It's forgiving to other people. That's what it means to forgive. It means to breathe out. Don't hold on. Don't hold that breath. You've got to give it to somebody else now. Let it go. And then, it's going to be a little bit of darkness. I just gave away all that good stuff. But don't worry, it's coming back.
Is the out breath the good stuff? I always thought it was the...
Well, that's when you forgive.
And let go of...
But what happens after you forgive? You forgive, and then you forget. You got to give to get. See, if we don't create space inside of us, if we don't forget, there's no room for that next breath. That's what forgetting is. That's why they call it forgetting. Let go to make some room so that you can get something. But if you're holding your breath and you're saying, I've got this and I want this and I'm not going to let it go because if I let it go, then I'm going to be empty. No.
Wow.
You're stopping the moment, which means movement in Latin. Moment means movement. That's what the moment is. The moment is not one place in time, like this is the moment. I'm going to put a flag here and say this is the moment. It's a movement. It's a breath. You exhale so that you can inhale. Just like in the body. If you don't exhale, okay, you might have had the cleanest air in the world. You might have had the cleanest food in the world. And you take that in, you inhale all that food and energy and love. But if you don't let it out, guess what happens? The toxins build up. If you don't shit it out, if you don't piss it out, if you don't breathe it out, doesn't matter how good it was. You meet a woman and she's amazing and she's just like, here, love. And you're like, But if you hold on to that breath and you don't let it out, if you cling to it,
She's
it
out.
becomes toxic.
I know
man.
that. I know about that a lot, because if you cling out of fear, that's what a lot of men do.
Dies.
They get a beautiful woman and they're not fully secure. They cling to it. They're needy. They're, where are we at? Where do we stand? You know, and she's like, I'm gonna go. You know, so the man has to be like, yo, baby, I'm going. You coming? I'm out. Peace. Love you. You're beautiful. You're the most beautiful woman in the world. But I got things to do. You know, and that's when the woman's like, well, yeah, you better go with this guy because he's the one having the most fun. You know, and he's handsome as hell. You know, or whatever. And he's sure of himself and confident, and he's able to not. The dudes that cling, they are going to be the ones that are going to squeeze the life right out of that feminine. She wants to come and go as she pleases.
And they stop giving. They stop giving. They hold on to it. Don't leave me. Don't run away. Don't talk to that guy. Don't go to the Woodstock Fruit Fest. There's going to be all these people around. You're going to meet somebody. And so they hold. And it dies. They stop the movement.
Fear.
They stop the fear. And what is fear? When you really look at fear, it's comparison. That's all fear is. You're comparing yourself to who you were in the past, because maybe you were healthy, maybe you were fit, and you're comparing yourself like, I'm no longer my past. Look at me now, I'm a bum, I've lost my car, I've lost my money, I lost my wife, I lost a limb. Or you're looking at the future, and you're saying, here's what I want to be, but I'm not there yet. I want to be 100 pounds lighter, I want to be richer, but what I have right now isn't good enough. So you're afraid that you'll never get there, or you're afraid that that thing behind you, you're either never going to match up to it again, especially as you get older.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to be 18 again. I'm never going to look like that. I'm never going to have skin like that again.
Yeah, the older guys are like, come on, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
Wake up. You know what I mean? You know, when you were a stallion, you know, go all night or whatever. But yeah, so.
But you got to be where you are right now.
And really love that.
Love it and embrace it. And that's when you said, you know, women like men who are self-confident, self-assured. What does that mean? Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is not like, oh, I think I'm the best in the world. Confidence is, you know, I got flaws. I got a lot of gifts. I got a lot of flaws. I've got my ups. I've got my downs. I've got it all, and it's okay. It's okay. I approach you as a flawed man, and I'm okay with that.
I need to watch this video myself later because that's what it's less of a struggle. I mean, it's like, isn't it one thing to be up here and you're talking about all the books you read and you've helped thousands of people and you know what to say, but deep down inside you know that's kind of where I'm at. It's like you're really working on being okay with getting older. Yeah,
being okay with not being okay.
It's like the pictures on Instagram. Ooh, Dan's getting wrinkly. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do? Stop the earth from spinning? I'm the most stressed out dude in the world I'm so stressed out trying to learn how to relax, you know, but, well, that's just it. I mean, the earth spins, you eat, I mean, you stress out and the lines show up and you have to, everyone's got their own little thing. For me, aging is one of the things that's not my favorite thing to look at, but I am finding more peace with that, you know.
Well, look at this. Where do you want to go on vacation? Do you want to go on vacation in Nebraska or Colorado? Which one do you think would be more visually stimulating?
Probably Colorado.
Probably Colorado, because it's got mountains. And what are mountains? Wrinkles in the earth. A disturbance. They're wrinkles. The earth has been crumpled up and wrinkled over billions of years, however long it took.
Oh,
and now there's topography there. There's things to look at. There's differentiation. But in Nebraska, it's flat, it's smooth, it's uniform. It's like, wow, yeah, it's flat and smooth and pretty, but there's no topography. Right. There's no story. There's no history. There's no wisdom. And there's nothing wrong with being young. There is nothing wrong with being young. But those wrinkles, those are stories. Each one of those is topography. Each one of those is a mountain valley with flowers and beautiful views and a glacial lake. You know, that's what the wrinkles are.
Dude,
it's a sign that we've been
that
somewhere.
is legit.
We've been somewhere,
That is a great metaphor, man. And they can see, you know, that they see that depth of your character.
Yeah. The highs and the lows. You show them both.
With
Colorado's not just about the peaks. It's about the valleys in between.
Word, man. It's a great way to look at it because, dude, I've definitely seen some stuff. And I'm coming out shining like a diamond. Taking all that crap and I'm growing some pretty beautiful flowers.
Yeah.
I'm doing well in